You're working with the wrong person entirely. And it's time for you to speak to the people who actually invest, implement, and give a fuck about what you're doing, rather than the ones just looking for a handout or a magic pill that fixes all their problems. So inside of this episode, I really want to call you from muse into your mentor, to be the teacher of teachers, to be the healer of healers. I really want to hand you back your powerful mic so that you can start working with people who really care about what it is that you're doing and what you have to offer. And no, by the way, you do not need another ideal client avatar worksheet in order to figure this out. You're absolutely freaking amazing at what you do. You're doing energy attunements, you're doing subconscious reading, you're working with psychic energy, you're blending modalities that were never intended to be mixed, and you're doing it with flying colors. You're absolutely freaking excelling at it. And you're helping people quantum leap kind of on accident. You're not planning for them to have these miraculous breakthroughs, but at this point you do expect it because it just keeps happening over and over. But despite that, you're still marketing to the general public like they're actually ready for all that you're capable of. They're actually ready for your frequency. And so I want you to really think about this episode as your hot tub to dive into for recalibration. Like, we're just gonna dive on into the nice hot water because you're not meant to be teaching Manifestation 101 or how to connect to your guides or Intuition 101 to people who don't even meditate, to people who don't even believe in energy, right? You're meant to calibrate the teams of people who are supporting spiritual empires, who are creating their own spiritual empires, who are helping other people evolve in massive ways. So I really want you to stop speaking to the healing curious people when you know that you were built to lead the healing industry itself. You see all of the problems in it. You see all the ways that lines get blurred and manipulation happens, and people who are completely unqualified to be doing what they're doing are looked up to as if they're a god or goddess. You see all that shit because you have deep integrity, because you have put in the fucking hours and hours and hours of actual client work and the decades of not just learning one or two modalities, but actually experimenting with them and making them your own and blending different things to really make it work. You're not here to convince the masses, you're here to activate the entire fucking industry. So if your clients keep on ghosting their own growth, it's not about you. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that you're trying to work with people who are not ready, people who don't want it bad enough yet. So it's like trying to run high voltage electricity through a string of fairy lights. They're just gonna blow out. They're not gonna work anymore. They'll get tossed in the trash. Obviously, that's not exactly what's happening with your clients, but you're overwhelming their systems. They're not ready for you yet, and that's okay. They can go work with someone else who will teach them the 101 of what it is that you do, who will teach them the basics, the intros, or you have a self-paced course that teaches them that, so that you're not having to answer the same fucking questions over and over and over and over and over again until you want to rip your hair out. So it's really time for you to just shift from thinking about your online programs and your online courses, your certifications, all the different things that you're doing right now outside of one-on-one work, and stop speaking about those things to the general public. Stop speaking about those things like you're trying to invite that random aunt and uncle who never believed in whatever it is that you do anyway because they don't understand it, they're not open to it, they don't give a fuck. But meanwhile, those are the people that you're trying to bring into your business. And you're wondering why. They're either coming in and not seeing results because their inner will is not on board, or they're just looking at you like you're crazy. And they're like, yeah, okay. That crazy medicine woman, that crazy energy lady. So we're shifting from the general public to offering the highest level of support for other facilitators, for other team trainers, for other retreat leaders, For other people who are co-creating or creating really big things in the world that you know they need spiritual harmony, resonance, balance with, in order for them to keep growing and doing the big things that they're doing in the world. Those people are looking for you. They know that they need a spiritual mentor. They know that they need a spiritual guide, and they're looking for someone that they can trust, who has integrity, who has decades of experience, to be by their side, to lead them. There was a friend that I met years ago now, who comes to some of the Qigong retreats here in Asheville in the summers, and I haven't followed up to see what had happened with this, but for a while, he was actually working with RFK as part of their psychic defense team. That's a real thing. That's a real position that people are looking for, that people are looking to hire. People in positions of, and I want to say this carefully, but people in positions, not carefully, but just what I genuinely mean, people in positions of real power, people in positions where the decisions that they make can actually impact the entire world. They know that the work you do is important. They don't need to be convinced. Those are the people that I want you to start gearing your work towards, because you are more than ready and more than qualified to help them. So when you shift your audience, your income explodes. And something I want to make really clear here is that you're not then blocking out all the other people that you could potentially help and support. You're shifting how you support those people. You're not taking one-on-one sessions with those people all day, every day, and being dragged back down into energies and questions and just spaces that you don't actually want to be in, spaces that you don't feel expanded by. And those people get access to less of your energy, less of your genius, less of your work at such a close capacity than those people who already see the value in it, who already know without a shadow of a doubt how valuable that thing is. So you know right now that you could be charging 10 times more for the exact same work that you're already doing, and your clients would thank you for it. They would thank you for charging more. They would thank you for raising your rates. And why are they going to do that? It's because they're now actually implementing what you're teaching them because they value it. They now feel self-resourced because of what you've taught them, because of the things that you've trained them to feel more resourced about, because they're already leaders. They're already doing bigger things. They see the value in what you're doing. And because they're already craving next level calibration from someone who speaks their energetic language. You know this, our nervous systems calibrate to each other. Like attracts like. When we get in the room with other people who have as big of a vision and are as expanded as we are, we calibrate to that. So you are not just a healer. You are the calibration rod, the fucking lightning rod for the leaders of this world. And I gave a political example earlier. I typically don't do that. That is not at all what I mean. The people who are running regenerative farms and are facing backlash for what they're doing, for people saying that it's wrong and bad and that it's somehow destroying our planet, they're looking for spiritual advisors like you. The people who are running wellness companies, supplement companies, who have been taken off of YouTube and have been wiped off the internet multiple times because their work and their words so strongly contradict the lie of media that we have been trained to believe since we were kids, are such a big threat to those who are in a different era of power. They're looking for you. So it's not that you can no longer work with anyone, if you're looking at this as levels or tiers of it isn't that you can no longer work with anyone who is making less than a certain amount of money, or you can no longer work with someone who has a less than a certain status in the world. It's that you're only working with people who already deeply value what it is that you do, and they already know the value of it. You do not have to convince them of it. You don't have to teach them how valuable it is. And if you're the kind of healer whose work leaves other healers speechless, you get into conversations with them and they're like, holy shit, how did you figure that out? I've been trying to solve this problem with this client for years and I couldn't figure it out, and you just figured it out in one conversation. Holy shit. If those are the kind of conversations that you're having, but your business, your income hasn't caught up to that level of power yet, your peers see your power, but your bank account hasn't reflected it yet, my Rich and Rested Mastermind is the next portal for you. This is where we're going to scale your income alongside your rest, alongside your nervous system. So you're not going to be burning out. You're not going to be working with broke clients who are making all these excuses that they say they have to talk to their partner, or they don't have the money yet, or whatever other excuse. It doesn't matter, because the only excuse is that they don't value it enough yet. The best thing that you can do for those people is let them go out, continue living their lives, continue building up their desire for whatever the struggle they came to you for that to change, for that to get so strong that they're like, okay, I have to do something about this now. I really, really value it. Then they can come into your world. And like I said, for the people who are already leading in some way, they already know the value of this work because they've gone through that shit fire so many times that they're like, okay, yep, I'm ready. So as far as the Rich and Rested Mastermind, the link will be down in the show notes, or you can just send me a message on Instagram for more information about that. So our next section here is telling yourself that you're too niche, that you're too unique, that it's not going to work for your business. That is the lie that's blocking your next breakthrough. Every time that I hear this, I'm like, not true. Not fucking true. And this is like one of the most common things. It's like, well, it works for that modality, but it won't work for me. It worked for acupuncturists, but it won't work for a massage therapist. It worked for a Reiki practitioner, but it won't work for a Qigong teacher. It won't work for a yoga teacher. Like, it won't work for quantum leadership. It won't work for this. Yes, it fucking will. Stop giving yourself that excuse. Yes, it does. It does work. You're not too niche. You're just still trying to explain energy work, again, to people who think that what they really need is a different diet. You're trying to explain nutrition to people who think that they just need another self-help book. You're trying to explain how quantum physics works to someone who only believes in chemistry. Like, imagine trying to market your immersive work, your energy work, your unique modalities. Imagine marketing your embodiment work, your Reiki work, your energy work to the assistant of someone who's making multiple seven figures, who this person is literally in charge of the retreat calendar, they're in charge of that person's personal life, they're in charge of communication throughout the team, throughout the entire business, and they desperately need your skill set to be able to support the whole team energetics. Of course they're going to hire you. They see the value in what you're doing. And this was a very specific example, obviously, of like someone who's already making seven figures. These people are around you way more than you might realize. These people are walking by you and they look completely normal. You don't know they're there, but they are. They're all around you. So this is your permission to choose a bigger room. So I have a little prompt for you, for your future self. What would you change if you only spoke to people who are already at the same frequency as you? And this isn't, you know what, it can be. This isn't a I'm better than everyone else type of vibe in a like egotistical way. This is a, I've done so much fucking work on myself. I have supported so many other people through things. Yeah, I get to own that I'm really fucking good at this. I get to own that I'm way better at this than someone who just took a 1 weekend workshop and is now claiming to be a master. I get to fucking own that. And so if you fully owned it and you only spoke to other people like you, like that, people who valued that depth of wisdom and knowledge and understanding, what would change? what would change? I want you to journal on that. You're not trying to be more digestible in your content. You're not trying to be more palatable. You're not trying to make your offers more palatable. You're not trying to reach a broader audience. When you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. We've heard this a million times. You're here to be more direct. You're here to speak to the people who are already listening. So if you want to stay in the energy, in the frequency of softness, of sales, of self-trust, Endless Sunday Energy is your plug-in portal. It's a private audio space where you're going to be getting every single week at least 3 feminine money codes, wealth on autopilot, and really letting your energy do the heavy lifting for you. So like I said, you're not here to teach people how to believe in energy. You're here to calibrate the ones who already believe in it. The ones who want to be even better with their energetic management. And it's not about getting louder. It's not about starting over. It's about getting more clear. And it's about stepping up into your leadership, into allowing yourself to be as big as you know you were born to be. In every way. So if the people that you're currently serving right now aren't making you feel like a fucking legend and a genius, you're in the wrong room. Not because you need validation from your clients, but because you're being wildly underutilized if this isn't the case. If these people aren't like, holy fuck, that was an amazing session, you're so good. You're a goddamn genius. Speak to the clients who can already hear you. They are waiting for you. And if you really feel like this episode hit a massive revelation for you and you're ready to rewire and recalibrate your entire content strategy to reflect the premium version of you that's just been like busting at the edges to come out, I have a couple of one-on-one options where we can do a VIP day or immersion. The VIP day can actually be in person if you're in Asheville, or if you want to come and visit and make a weekend out of it. And this is where your content becomes a client conversion machine for the right people. Again, you can find the details down in the description or send me a DM on Instagram. But either way, it's time for you to burn the fluff in your marketing and create content that commands respect and sales.